Hey guys, what's up? It's Emily. So today we're going to be talking about fibromyalgia, which is one of my diagnoses of many. Um, the other day I asked what you guys wanted to see on Instagram, and majority of people said you wanted to know more about fibromyalgia. So that's exactly what we're doing. So if you don't know what fibromyalgia is, it is very similar to illnesses like arthritis, lupus, and MS. It's characterized by chronic widespread pain, fatigue, brain fog or fibrofog. It's heard of both ways. Sleep issues, memory issues, mood issues. I think I already said that. Yeah, brain fog. I'm sorry if I am spacey throughout this video. That's just part of having fibromyalgia. My memory isn't the best. I think I'm also getting a little bit sick, so try and bear with me, please. So I'll start off this video by telling you a little bit about my fibromyalgia story. So I was officially diagnosed in December of 2018. I think it was like the 6th of December. I was diagnosed by a rheumatologist who ultimately ruled out other chronic pain conditions like arthritis, lupus, MS, Lyme disease, Addison's disease. He ruled out a bunch of different things. So fibromyalgia is basically a diagnosis by the process of elimination. So they rule out things that have the same symptoms, but fibromyalgia doesn't actually have a test that you can do to say, yes, you definitely have this. It's a diagnosis of basically ruling everything else out. I started displaying extreme symptoms in June of 2018, so my diagnosis really didn't take that long. I am one of the lucky ones when it comes to that. I know of people that have waited 5-6 years for a diagnosis, so I was very lucky that it happened in such a short period of time. Based off of different reading and talking to doctors, my family and I figured that I've had fibromyalgia since I was about 7 or 8 years old, just due to the fact that I've always kind of experienced pain that wasn't really explainable. I've had migraines most of my life. Migraines started happening when I was about 6 years old, I think. I've always been kind of a spacey person. I can walk into a room and not remember what I'm doing. I can forget a conversation mid-conversation. So, yeah. So for me, fibromyalgia is chronic widespread pain every single day, all day. It does come and go in its severity. There are days that it's just like, oh, I'm hurting, and then there's days that I can hardly get out of bed. I have brain fog, as if you've watched any of my videos, you will see that. If you've had a conversation with me in person, you've noticed it. I have a lot of sleep issues. I have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. I want to sleep all day, and then when I actually get the chance to fall asleep at night, I can't sleep. I also experience anxiety and depression due to my fibromyalgia. Being in constant pain does cause some anxiety and depression, but all chronic illnesses can cause anxiety and depression, so that's not really abnormal. So I asked if you guys had any questions on fibromyalgia on my Instagram. If you want to give me a follow, it's at Chronically Emily T. I will link it down below in the description box. So let's get into the questions. So the first question is, how did you get your fibromyalgia diagnosis and what led to it? So I kind of touched on this. It's a diagnosis by the process of elimination. And basically I went to my family doctor and I explained that, I was having all this pain and it was just getting worse. My feet were turning purple. I was swelling. I was having migraines constantly. I was having a lot of joint pain to the point that I couldn't really walk that well. I can't remember all of my symptoms at that time, but they were quite concerning. And given that my mom has psoriatic arthritis and my uncle has lupus, I was very concerned about the possibility of me having that. So I went to my family doctor right away, and he sent me to a rheumatologist due to my family history. And yeah. The next question is, how has it changed your life for the better and for the worse? So, majority of the time, I will tell you that fibromyalgia has changed my life for the worse. So, I'm 23 years old, and I can barely walk most days. My cognitive level sucks. I can watch a movie that I've seen a million times, and there's days that I can get halfway through and not know what's going on, even though I've seen it a million times. So that's really frustrating. I use a walker to help with my mobility because my mobility is so poor due to my fibromyalgia pain. And it really just alters your life. It alters the way that people view you. It alters how you even view yourself. And yeah. However, there are some good aspects to fibromyalgia. I have met so many incredible individuals online and in person. The Instagram fibromyalgia community is amazing. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to talk to. I also attend a support group here in the city that I live in. I am the youngest person that attends, but they have totally changed my life. I talk to one of the ladies for sure twice a week on the phone. It might sound weird, but I relate to them. And they're like 50 and older, better than I do to people that are my age. And that's just due to the fact that they understand what I'm going through. So it has changed my life in some good ways and some not so good ways. So yeah. Is fibromyalgia part of functional neurological disorder? So if you don't know what functional neurological disorder is, it is basically unexplained neurological symptoms that doctors can't really figure out a cause. So for example, I have non-epileptic seizures. I don't have epilepsy, so we don't know what causes these non-epileptic seizures. Basically, functional neurological disorder is a black hole in medicine. Not really is known much about it. I do have a video on it. I will also link that down below if you want to check it out. And there's tons of different information online if you would like to know more. So, chronic pain is one of the branches that kind of stems off from functional neurological disorder. So, it is a possibility that my fibromyalgia is not a diagnosis for me and that it's all functional neurological disorder. However, when talking to doctors about this, I have been told, no, I have functional neurological disorder and fibromyalgia. So I would consider fibromyalgia a completely different diagnosis. However, the symptoms of fibromyalgia do fall under functional neurological disorder. So I can't 100% answer that question with all certainty, but yeah. Do you feel like this diagnosis fits your symptoms, or do you wonder if you may have a different condition that they haven't yet discovered or tested for? I have days where I do not question my fibromyalgia at all. There are days that I say, yes, 100% I do have fibromyalgia, I fit all the symptoms. However, I do have days where I do question. And that's just due to the fact that I've been on every approved medication to treat fibromyalgia, and none of it has worked. So I have been on things like pregabalin, gabapentin, duloxetine or Cymbalta, amitriptyline, nortriptyline. I've tried CBD, THC. I've done massage therapy, float therapy. I've seen a naturopath, osteopath. I have done pretty much everything. Everything my rheumatologist and family doctor has recommended, I have done. And I haven't gotten better, and I actually feel that I'm getting worse. So there are days that I do question my diagnosis. However, I don't know what it could be because I have been tested for everything else that they know of that could be causing these symptoms. So yeah. So I feel that my symptoms do fit my fibromyalgia diagnosis, but I am hopeful that it could be something else that either they haven't tested for or they haven't even discovered yet. And another question is, what did they do to diagnose you? So basically, process of elimination. They tested me for everything else. All my tests came back normal, and my rheumatologist said, you have fibromyalgia. And the last question is, what kind of treatment do you do? So, like I said earlier, I'm on absolutely no medication for my fibro, which is unfortunate because I have tried so many different medications and none of them have worked for me. So, in terms of alternative treatment, I do a lot. I sit on a lot of heating pads. Heating pads are my best friend. Either the electric kind that plugs into the wall or the bead ones that you can put in the microwave. Both of those are which I use. I've done reflexology. I've done osteopath, naturopath. For the naturopath, I'm currently on a gluten-free, dairy-free, and a bunch of other things that I can't eat sort of diet. I don't know if it's necessarily helping or not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you want me to do a video on my experience with a naturopath, I will. Just leave a comment down below if you want to see that. And then I've done things like acupuncture, chiropractor, massage therapy, float therapy. I've done a lot of different things. And the biggest thing is taking rest days when I need them, using heat, taking time for yourself, and listening to your body. I know that's so hard to do because lots of times you have to cancel plans with friends or your boyfriend or family members, or you can attend something. And you know what? I know that's hard, but it's okay. You have to look after yourself. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned is in order to feel somewhat better, you have to look after yourself and listen to your body. So while I haven't found any sort of formal treatment that works for me, things like heat and rest and lots of water, that's my biggest advice that I can give to anybody with fibro. And I know your doctor will probably tell you the same thing, but it's the truth. So yeah, I think that's all I have for today. If you have any more questions or I didn't answer your question fully, please comment down below, or you can always DM me on Instagram, whichever you want. I'm totally willing to answer either. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and until next time, I hope you guys are well, and I will see you later.